Well, dusting powder and body powder has officially taken over TikTok. And because of that, I wanted to spend a little bit of time and just talk to you guys about body powder and about dusting powder. It has been around for centuries, you guys. It's something that our grandmothers, our mothers used to do. You guys know my story. If you followed me with Be Enchant Perfume dusting powders, you know my story. My mother passed away 2 years ago. She was the GOAT of dusting powders and all things smell good. She put me on to dusting powders when I was about 7 years old. There used to be a body powder back in the 80s called Body Bloomers, I believe it was, and it had a little dusting powder in a container, and it also had like a perfume body mist. And from that point on, I was locked in. I even have my mom's Avon dusting powder vintage container that I've shared with you guys before. But we have grown over the decades when it came to dusting powder. Back in the day, there was this big controversy. I'm sure you guys all heard about it, and it was all about the talc that was included in the powders. And since then, people have level set. The companies have level set. And they introduced so many talc-free options. So I want to start off, first off, by letting you guys know that I specialize in perfume fragrant soft dusting powders used with EDP elixir level fragrances. So if you are looking for fragrances in layers to lock in your scent trail, an example would be Her Charm, and Her Charm Perfume Oil Elixir mirrors Burberry Her. But even me, when I'm looking for a powder that I don't want a perfume attached to, there are so many options out here now, you guys, and I'm just going to share a few of my favorites. So my number one favorite is going to be the Gold Bond's Comfort Powder. It smells really good. It's soft, it's fragrant, it's fresh. It goes on very smooth and it's not heavy, which is number one in me if I'm going to do a body powder. As you can see, it says body powder, not dusting powder. There is a difference. I don't have any of the Dollar Tree powders to talk to you guys about because I am not a Dollar Tree powder girly. Again, because like I said, there are so many other options out here. BTS Bees has a dusting powder as well. As you can see, it actually says dusting powder. It is non-scented. It is talc-free. It's perfect to use in those sweat zones if you're going to the gym, tennis shoes, especially in the summer, if you want some freshness. You have the Lush products that a lot of people are familiar with, and the Lush products are really good too. It's a very fine powder, but it doesn't last or protrude a fragrance, so it's not one of my go-tos. As you can see, I've used very little out of that container. You also have Mega Puff, and the one thing that I do like about Mega Puffs are the big puff that comes in it. Now, as you can see, the one thing about Mega Puff, it is also a body powder. The difference between a dusting powder and a body powder is what it does for your body. A dusting powder is a soft, talc-free powder that's going to enhance fragrance. It is actually going to blend in with your skin. So when I talk about dusting off excess, that is where I'm coming from with the dusting powder. With a body powder, it is specifically made to dry. So if you're going to the gym, if you're running, if you're sweating, this is what you need is a body powder. Now, you can use a dusting powder for those purposes. Again, like I said, it's going to dry you out. For me, I love to be moisturized. And so I like when my powder goes on my body, when I dust it out, that it blends. And you guys, I've shared my powder puffs with you many times. But I'm going to share this one. This one is our Feathered Puff. With Feather Puff, the Feather Puff has a thick puff underneath that grabs and holds the powder. And then as you can see, the powder is right here. I actually have Her Charm in this container. And then I'll typically take that powder and I will dust off the excess with additional puff. As you can see behind me, I have several puffs. I am a brand owner. I am a lover of all things dusting powder and all things fragrance. So I really make sure that I update my collection. We've talked about keeping it sanitary and all of those things. But the bigger and thicker the puff, the more powder that it holds. And when I'm powdering, I want to be dusted. I don't want to sprinkle powder everywhere. I don't want a little puff that's just going to place it in certain places. I like to seal and lock in whatever fragrance that I'm using. And Be Enchant dusting powders and oil elixirs is why I started creating my own decades ago. And now I have the equipment to professionally infuse those powders. And so I am using natural, only organic cornstarch in my personal fragrance blends. I'm not adding arrowroot. I'm not adding baking soda. I'm not adding any additional additives to that powder because it is also about health and it's about fragrance for me. And I don't want to blend. When I am layering, those things have odors to them, if it makes any sense. And I specialize in all the fragrances for the girlies, the ones that you guys love. Burberry Her, Burberry Goddess, Donna Born in Roma, Baccarat 540. Coco Chanel Mademoiselle. I have Cashmere Dew. I have Coconut Cream Pie. I have a special blend that I created called Sweet Candy Dust, Vanilla Sugar Bliss, and so many, many more. And if you've been following me, you know that I always talk about the experience of a dusting powder. Not just using a body powder, but the experience, the opulence of it all. Our grandmothers loved them for one reason. They work. They work to extend your fragrance. They work to elevate your fragrance. They help to lock in your fragrance. And a good one can be used as a fragrance. You could not have Baccarat 540, okay? And you could have the Baccarat 540 perfume oil elixir and the perfume dusting powder, and you would need absolutely nothing else. If you're going to get into dusting powders, get into them. Don't play with them. Get into them. Get into the love of them. Get into the accessories. I've shared my accessories with you guys. I've shared my plug on my accessories with you guys. This is a lollipop puff. I get a lot of questions and people say, oh, what about the puff on a stick? It is called a lollipop puff. Just like when you do makeup, there are certain accessories to make sure that your products work the way that they're supposed to work. Dusting powder, in the world of dusting powder, has their own accessories as well, and I probably have every one of them. When I came on here over a year ago, there was literally 4 videos in the search engine that talked about dusting powders. And I have been pushing this algorithm for over a year for my love, my mother's love of this beautiful self-care ritual. I'm so glad that you guys are into it. Again, there's so many options out here. Of course, Be Enchant Dusting Powders is available. The oil elixirs are available as well. If you're looking for accessories, you can find that in my bio, in my website as well. As always, TT loves you. I hope this helped you. Get dusted.